Hey guys, it's Chelsa Messenger with Picks and Parlays. We're headed out west for some NBA action. The Blazers hosting the Sixers. We've got a promo code. The code is LOVE for 20% off the entire site at picksandparlays.net. And the Sixers road favorites here, minus 5.5, total of 229.5. We've got the Sixers who are 18-7 on the season, 14-9-2 against the number. And then you've got the Blazers 13-10, 11-12 against the spread. And I think what stands out to me this year about the Sixers, they're 7-5 away, which is a far cry from how bad they were on the road last season. So maybe a little bit more toughness there in Philadelphia. We've got Dan, the Professor Kaiser, to drop some knowledge on us. Dan, what's your take on Blazers and Sixers?
Yeah, I think this is going to be a kind of a fun game to watch. You got two teams that are both in the top eight in scoring. Philadelphia is eighth. They put up 114.3 points a game, and Portland's sixth in scoring at 114.5. The one thing that kind of sets these two teams apart is how they play on the defensive end. Philadelphia is eighth in the league at giving up 110 points a game, and Portland's 25th at 115 points a game. Yeah, as you said, Philadelphia's playing better on the road. They just got a win on the road over Sacramento on Tuesday night. Portland's also coming off a win at home against Orlando. Between these two, Portland's taken the last two meetings, including a 121-105 road win in Philadelphia back on February 4th. Well, Philadelphia's been kind of on a roll. They've won 6 out of the last 7, and Embiid, putting up a double-double a night, 29 points and 11 boards. Tobias Harris is putting up 20 points a game, grabbing 7.5 rebounds. And you look at this Portland team. Portland basically goes as their guards go. I mean, Damian Lillard's putting up 29 points a game, and CJ McCollum's putting up 26 a night. I'm looking at this game, and I know Philadelphia on the road hasn't been good in the past, and it's usually a good fade. But I just like the way they're playing. I think, Embiid and Harris are putting up some good things, doing some good things together. I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to take Philly on the road in this one against Portland.
Yeah, the Sixers team has looked a lot tougher, as I mentioned. And I think the difference here is probably going to be defense, because the Sixers actually do play some defense and Portland not so much, ranking in the bottom third of the league in total score, field goal, and three-point percentage for opponents. So you've got this Philadelphia defense that has been a lot better. And obviously, Portland has had a whole host of injuries, that have really cost him. Obviously, CJ McCollum out, Nurkic, Collins down low. Enes Kanter can't do it all himself, especially against Joel Embiid, who most people, can't guard him anyway. So I think the difference for me is the defense and the fact that Portland does not play that much. So that's where I would be leaning. Looking at a total 229.5 seems a little high, but we are talking about a Portland team that has been pretty hot over this season, or at least they had a streak there that they were. Any leanings on a total?
Not really. It's kind of it's sitting at that number that, I could see it going either way, depending on, how tough Philadelphia plays defense in this one. If they want to get in a running game, which they're capable of doing with Harrison, Simmons, and Embiid, it could be high scoring. If they clamp down on the defensive end, it'll go wonder. So I really don't have a leaning either way, because it just depends how the pace of the game goes.
Right, and it matters if it's a blowout too, because Portland has been blown out a couple times against Milwaukee, 106-134. I guess that one went way over, but that's also Milwaukee, who scores a lot of points, it seems like, no matter what. And a lot of times blowouts can kill your plays on props, on totals, on a lot of things. So just be mindful of that. If you think it's going to be a blowout, I'm not sure if it will be, just because I think Portland can at least keep up if they are shooting the three ball well, because that is something that they can do on any given night. They're a team that likes to shoot a lot of threes, and if they're connecting, they can at least keep up, but that's the issue. They can go super hot or cold, and that's why I have trouble backing them some nights. Anything else you think bettors should be aware of?
Well, I would also look at the injury reports, because I know Embiid seems to have on and off back problems. I know it's not the back end of a back-to-back, so he should be fine, but he always seems, I don't know, it seems like a lot of times when I bet Philadelphia, he comes up injured, that game just before game time. So I'm just going to look at the injury reports just to make sure Embiid is in the game, because when he's not playing it, that's just a different team.
I feel like he always runs like he's hurt anyways, even when he's not. And obviously, he has a little bit of a trouble with flopping, which is fun to watch sometimes, but also a little bit frustrating. But that is another story for another day. That's going to do it for NBA Talk here on Picks and Parlays. Great stuff from Dan Kaiser. Dan, thanks for joining us.